All right. I'm going to start off with a quote from Scientific American Journal. It's been said replacing tobacco with e-cigarettes is like heroin users switching to methadone painkiller. I've done research and I have a lot of personal experience with e-cigs, so I can comfortably bring this information to you. Hopefully you can make your own judgment by the end of it. My job here today is to inform everybody about the general safety of e-cigarettes so you guys can make your own informed decision on the safety of it, because it's kind of hard to gauge the safety right now. There's little research on it. First, I will talk about what an e-cigarette actually is and how it works and its history. Next, I will discuss the way it's being advertised and its popularity amongst young adults. Finally, I will let you in on my opinion and let you form your own opinion on the information I've provided. What is an e-cigarette? It stands for electronic cigarette. This is one model. There's another model which I have right here. It consists of a battery, that's the main component. There's a computer chip inside controlling the button and the voltage that comes out of it. This is the more basic one that looks like a traditional cigarette. The battery heats up an atomizer, which is like a coil inside, heats up the coil, and there's liquid or e-liquid in there that hits that coil and it instantly vaporizes because it's really hot. And that vapor or mist collects in this compartment here or in here, and you inhale it as vapor. I'll pass this around for everybody to see. All right, the history. E-cigarettes were thought of around 51 years ago in 1963 by Herbert A. Gilbert. Technology wasn't up to par back then. I know it's kind of surprising that it's about 51 years ago when the idea was actually thought of, but traditional cigarettes were still really popular, so nobody really bought into it, wanted to pay to make these a thing. So it was kind of put away until about 40 years later. In 2003, a Chinese pharmacist, Han Li, took to making a safer alternative after losing his father to lung cancer. It became very popular in the Chinese market, and it took off there and soon spread to the Western worlds. Next is the effects of advertising. Commercials portrayed as a cool way to smoke, a new alternative, and their biggest thing headlining is it's safe. It's a safe way to smoke cigarettes. So they come off with very appealing designs, especially to young adults. And I'm sure you've seen the commercials with the blue e-cig, the guy that walks around and has a jacket and coat on, and he's cool. He's smoking e-cig. All right, and about the ingredients inside. The ingredients are nicotine, flavoring, and propylene glycol or vegetable glycerin. Those are the two main components. Propylene glycol is in tons of things like medication. It's in cough syrup. It's the liquid that's suspended in it. It's an organic compound, so it's generally recognized as safe. But there's not enough research on if it's safe to inhale it. This is recently new that we've been doing this. Same thing with vegetable glycerin. And yeah, like I said, the research is just not up to par because it's something new coming out. So there hasn't been studies to see the long-term effects on e-cigs. So in the next coming years, I'm predicting that there will be a lot of research that's happening now that we'll hear about in the future. What we do know, often e-cig liquid is laced with nicotine, propylene glycol, as I said before, or vegetable glycerin, and flavorings. The flavorings are what appeal to young adults, just like how when cigarettes started out back in the day. Okay, as I said before, e-cigarettes do not contain cancer-causing chemicals, so that's a huge added bonus if you do want to quit from traditional cigarettes to e-cigarettes as far as their safety is concerned. They still can give withdrawal symptoms, including feeling irritable, depressed, restless, and anxious. This is because of the nicotine. Nicotine is highly addictive, and there are withdrawal symptoms coming off of that, which makes it so hard to quit cigarettes or e-cigarettes. Good old nicotine. Nicotine is, like I said, it's not really a harmful substance besides its addictive potential. So you add addictive, you make it addictive, and it's all the other stuff that's added with it that really ends up harming you more so than the nicotine itself. Nicotine is just addictive. And propylene glycol is an organic compound generally recognized as safe by the Food and Drug Administration. It's used in countless number of everyday items. It's a solvent, a preservative, prescription medications. It's used as a filler or a base for a lot of medications. And it's even used in antifreeze because it has a low boiling point. Mixed with water, it will cause water, low freezing point, excuse me. And how do you define safety? The safe aspects of e-cigarettes are left to our own interpretation. They do not benefit one's health. They don't make you healthier. They don't add to your health. However, they, in a way, are adding to your health if you are using them to quit smoking traditional cigarettes. E-cigarettes should be left to what they're good at, assisting a person to quit smoking and nothing more. They're not, I would recommend them as a long-term use thing just because of the addictive potential of it, as well as the other chemicals in it. We don't know what that's doing. There's not enough research to do anything new. We don't know what's going on there. All in all, as of right now, safety is open to individual interpretation. I think it's safer than cigarettes. So if you're using it to quit cigarettes, then that's a safe way to cut off that. All right. Simple design, marketed in the right way, however, little is known. In the end, one can assume they're much safer than traditional cigarettes, as it's saying, but not entirely safe themselves. More research must be completed to determine the overall health effects of smoking e-cigarettes. So in the end, there's just not enough known about them to say whether they're safe or not, but they are safer than traditional cigarettes. So that's it. Oh, and I have these graphs and pictures to show you guys. Here's a graph of use amongst teenagers. As I said, it's been appealing to teenagers and high school students. This is all students. The blue one is in 2012 and the dark blue is in 2011. So the use is more than doubled in 1 year. So almost by every year the use is doubling amongst teenagers. It's becoming really, really popular. So hopefully there'll be more research to know whether they're safe or not. And that's why teens want to use it, like diamond. They become really cool devices. So they feel
cooler looks, the more they want.
Yep.
Are you using?
Right. Thank you for your time.
Got it.
Woohoo.